Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time and I want to say thank you to all of you for still being here. It's been almost a year since I've uploaded my last video, and in that time life's thrown me a few curveballs. So with that, let's rewind back to the beginning of this long unexpected hiatus. Back in March of 2023, I was out on a bike ride, had a dog run out in front of me, caught my front wheel, I went over the handlebars, ended up getting an ambulance ride to the emergency room, got some x-rays, some CT scans. As I said, I did hit my head pretty good. I just had a large bump on the left side of my head, a large bump on my shoulder. I had torn the AC ligaments in my left shoulder. Those are the ligaments that hold your collarbone to your shoulder blade. I got pretty lucky in regards of road rash. It could have been a lot worse than what it really was. Had some on my back, a really bad spot on my knee, and like the worst of it was the torn ligaments in my shoulder. I did have to have surgery to repair all of those torn ligaments, and I was on the couch for close to 2 months recovering from that. And that accident is what really spurred me not doing any videos. I tried not to let it keep me down too long. November rolled around, sitting around on the couch, had started to catch up to my waistline, and I decided there was something I needed to do. And I figured what better way to challenge myself than a couch to marathon. And I signed up for the Derby Marathon in Louisville, Kentucky that was scheduled for April 26th. Training started off really good. I really enjoyed the running again, and I was really getting into the groove of stuff. And then in February, I got hit with a really bad, severe respiratory infection. It wasn't the Rona, it wasn't the flu. According to all the test results, did have all of the COVID symptoms, and training just had to come to a halt. I couldn't run. I was tired. I didn't have any energy to even run if I could. Breathing, elevated heart rate, all that fun stuff that comes with a respiratory infection or virus like COVID. It took me about 3 to 4 weeks to get over that. Got back into running. Again, this was in February, so I was about 2 months out from the event date, and I was out on a run and my back started giving out on me. I've always had occasional back pain, but this was pretty bad. It almost brought me to my knees. Did some research and I started doing some techniques to help improve it. It did get a little bit better, but it never got back to where I felt confident that I could run a full marathon. And then on top of that, I was still recovering from the upper respiratory virus. When I was running at that point, my long runs on the weekends was getting to around 17 miles a week. So I was getting close to the distance of the marathon, but I just could never finish it. My back was just always there nagging, and I knew at that point that a marathon was just out of my reach. And while it did take some of the wind out of my sails, I didn't let it keep me down. I didn't let it stop me from running. I decided at that point that the best option would be to drop back and do the mini marathon, which is 13.2 miles. I had ran the distance before, so for this, my challenge for myself was to set a PR. I went out and did the run that Saturday morning. Everything went great. I did set a PR. I shaved, it was just a couple minutes off my time, but you know, like a few minutes it's a pretty big deal in the long run, especially when you're just getting back into it, considering the illness I dealt with, the injuries, you know, all that. I'm very pleased with how it went. Even though I did face the injury from the bike wreck, the setback with the illnesses and the back issues I had during running, the pain of those wasn't the big issue that kept me from making videos. It was honestly, I had mentally cracked. I think from the nearly 2 months that I spent sitting on the couch, basically rotting is what it felt like to me, and the other challenges I faced during my recovery, it just got to me mentally, and I cracked a little bit. I did start facing some depression, and I would say overall that's been the biggest challenge and the biggest obstacle to me creating videos. There have been times over the past year that I've gone on trips, camera gear in hand, or on the kayak, or on my boat, or in a backpack with me, and I just couldn't bring myself to record anything, and I decided that I just needed to let those moments be for me, part of my healing process, part of that journey. Luckily, I listened to myself, I did seek out help, I did counseling, and I'm here today and I'm a lot better, and I'm ready to get back into creating content, going on trips, doing exciting stuff. It wasn't all bad over the past year. I did start dating an amazing woman. She's been very supportive of me and my goals as I've trained for the marathon. She's been my biggest cheerleader through all of this. When I saw her standing on the sideline yelling for me, it gave me a second or third wind. I was able to just hightail it to the finish line, and I'm really grateful for her. And here in 2025, it's brought in its own challenges. In the spring, when I was really hoping to get out and do a lot of fishing and other backpacking, it seems like the weather was always terrible. We've had near record flooding here where I am in Kentucky. All the lakes and creeks, the reservoirs were all blown out and flooded. But fall's right around the corner. Hopefully we can start getting into not only the usual backpacking, kayaking, fishing, hiking videos. I'd really like to get in some hunting videos. So if you're still here, again, thank you so much for sticking around. I can't tell you how much it means to me. I know I've been quiet and, like I said, I've had a lot on my mind. I had a lot going on physically, so that's why. But I'm here now. I'm ready to start sharing again. Drop a comment below. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see on this channel as I get back into this. And if you're new here, hit subscribe. I've got a lot of good stories to tell. So get ready to come along and let's explore together.